members. We convene the Board of Directors meeting at 9:32 a.m. We all stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please remain standing. We've had I'll read it, but we've had a loss of one of our members, Joe D'Alto. He was a valued member of the community since 2001. He was a board member for 3 years, and he was also a veteran of the United States Army. And from a Navy man, I wish him fair winds and following seas. Moment of silence for his family. Thank you. God bless you. All right. Call the meeting to order. And I'll go ahead and I need a motion for the acceptance of the minutes from the last meeting.
I'll make a motion.
October 18th. So we have a motion from Tom Travia. Move the second.
Second.
Second from Sherry. Lucas. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. The next meeting is currently scheduled for December 20th, and the one in the first meeting in next year will be scheduled for January 17th. And then I'm going to move into the managers / chairman's comments. Can everybody hear me all right? Yeah. So we have, I like to stand when I speak, but so in the last 3 weeks, I've taken over. We've terminated our manager, parted ways, and in the last 2 to 3 weeks, I've been in the office day in, pretty much day out for 2 weeks, and working evenings with the board to try to shore up the operations. The morale of the office is on the upswing. I checked again with Jen to make sure that I'm not speaking out of turn here. So we're on the upswing, and we are actually in the process as well of evaluating HR companies to search for the replacement of the manager. So the board has done that. There's been a subcommittee of Frank DeVito and Pat Sprass, myself. We've done some research with that. There's also, in the last 2 weeks or so, we've got some projects that are still ongoing. Frank DeVito, Building and Grounds, I'm speaking of them, but one's going to be the fence project on East Lake, and the other's going to be the salt shed, which will be an augmentation of our capabilities for improved safety for our roads and heavy winter storms. So that's the main things I wanted. There's some minor, there's a lot of admin stuff going on, passwords, changing things, changing accounts, signatories. There's a lot in the background that you don't see, but it's being done. I have nothing negative that comes to mind to report, other than we just need to be patient. We're going to fill the position. So that's both the manager and that's the chairman's report. So we can move right into the treasurer's report. Treasurer. Go ahead.
Couldn't hear you. I'm sorry. Couldn't hear you.
Your report.
Oh, I'm sorry. I don't really have a treasurer report this month because we're still working on the budget. We worked up within the budget to the 11th hour last Wednesday. We presented it last week. We had a meeting with the STR committee last night. We're taking some of the the SCR committee members, that's not much church is a committee member, but she was on the call last night having a discussion. Somebody came up with a good idea that when we post things, we should put our assumptions out behind it so that people understood our methodology. But we should have discussions held this week and be ready to take a vote on the budget for next week. As far as the finances are concerned, we are trying to still get some things under control with overspending and overtime and hours of our maintenance department. And try to look at some cost cutting savings so that we can come out budget for the end of the year. But it's still, our SDR income predicted at 317 is going to come in at probably what I predicted 250 to 260. It could be a little bit over. Our recreation income is going to be about 30,000 as predicted. And our advanced dues is down from 60 to 30,000. So it was a tough year because the last year's budget process predicted income of 120 to 150,000 over what I'm actually going to bring in. We tightened that process this year, so we were able to find cost efficiencies for next year. That allowed us not to raise any dues this year. We're going into our dues 25 to 26 flat. So we're really proud of that. And we're able to put another $100,000 into reserve. So we are going from 275 funding in reserve to 375. So I'm exhausted. I hope you can hear me. My voice sounds pretty ratchet. But if anybody has any questions that they want about the budget or otherwise, you can email me at the LLB board at lotuslakevillage.org, and I'll answer any questions that you have.
You can repeat that. Email?
LLB board.
LLB board at lotuslakevillage.org.
Thank you.
Okay. Committee reports. This one, that's the treasurer's report. Tom, did you have anything to add?
For the finance report, we met last October. We were provided the budget, and the overall finance committee provided feedback on that budget. We did not meet this past month because it was the budget process, and our next meeting would be the second Saturday month, which would be scheduled for December 13th. We met in September, October, reviewing what was presented for the budget, provided feedback, and then this past month, the finance committee did not meet. There was the budget presentation in the middle of the finance committee meeting. December 13th, it's usually the second Saturday of the month, and there's always an announcement on Town Square.
Thank you. Security. Is Brian here today? I guess not. So Mike, you were actually that's sort of an announcement. Since last meeting, you asked to take over the committee, and I approved that. So
Yes, I volunteered to be liaison. I want to get with Brian and Andy in regards to how we're approaching and itemizing what's happening with security in the village. There's a lot more detail needed to be done. Reviewing the security items and as far as manpower. So once I get it done next week or next month, hopefully we'll have some more detailed information.
okay. Lakes and Wildlife is Jeff here today? Hey, I see you. Hey, Jeff. Did you have you want to come up front here? Mike it.
Everybody hear me?
Yeah.
Good morning, everyone. I just have a couple quick little things with Lake and Wildlife. Last year we had an incident, everyone remembers, someone almost drowned out on the lake. There is, the Pennsylvania Game Commission does have from November 1st to April 30th, you have to wear life jackets out on the boats. If any boat, actually, kayaks, paddle boards, anything you need to get out on that water, you have to wear a life jacket. So everyone in the community must know that. Also, the Pennsylvania Game Commission has a fluorescent orange. If you decide to go into the game lands, walking your dog, taking just a stroll for yourself, that runs between November 15th and December 15th. Please wear orange out there. It is the rifle season. People could get hurt out there. You have to be careful. And last but not least, November 23rd, Eastern Locust will be stocked with trout for late season ice fishing. All right, everyone, all right, thank you.
Thank you, Jeff, and
Can
welcome.
I ask a question?
You got a question here?
Do we have to wear orange within the community?
Not within the community, just outside of, you go into the game lands area,
Oh.
the hunting areas over there.
The way Jeff shoots, you might want to.
Please wear orange when you're out there, all right?
Thank you, Jeff. CNT, I don't think there's going to be a CNT. There hasn't been any meetings. We may consider maybe abolishing this committee.
Yeah, I think the board has talked, since there hasn't been any assignments to CNT, what would be the best use going forward?
We might want to entertain that, but right now there hasn't been any activity. It's not a mandatory committee by bylaw, so it's something that was created for, in the past, for the state. So. And then, building and grounds, Frank.
Hey guys, good morning. Me and Mike kind of do this together on the board, so I'm gonna tee up some things and then next over him for once I tee up a couple of things. So first of all, the fence across from the tennis courts, he's like there. That is going to be done starting Tuesday. So that's going to be a 2-rail 6x6 concrete post in. We thought it would give contrast for the rocks that are already there now, and then look as you drive in, because it's kind of the first thing people see. It's kind of picturesque. So while they're here, I'm going to try and come back this week and get them to give me at least our first estimate on the ski hill fence. They're trying to kill. They're here trying to kill another bird in one stone. So that's that. The salt shed that we're working in there, we're waiting. We're hoping to find out by the end of this week, if not sooner, in the week that we don't need the second permit, or we get the second permit, and that'll hopefully go up, shed will go up in December. That's what we're shooting for. Next thing, I met with Dee. Quite an interesting lady. She's got a lot of energy. I wish I had the energy she did. So she was interested in getting the gazebo taken care of, because it's very damaged. I inspected it all, and she's right, it's not good. She got a price of $6,500 to fix it. So then I asked Mike to want to talk about this one, about where we went from there.
Yeah, actually just started the process of, I contacted 3 vendors to totally replace the gazebo versus fixing it. And, the prices are ranging from around $8,000 to $9,000 for a wooden one. The same thing we have, octagon with benches all around. We're also considering possibly going to PVC or vinyl. I talked to Dee yesterday, so she's going to be involved totally with picking the colors and the materials. Hope to get together with her over the next couple of weeks. And once I get all these prices nailed down from these 3 vendors, we'll present everything and have it all outlined. We can put pictures if we want, and the estimates of the quotes if needed. That's all I have.
Next thing, tee up for Mike a little bit, is we both of us met with security in the last couple of days about their vehicles, and they have been very interested in getting a pickup. And I'm going to let Mike talk about that, because we kind of have a plan with turning in things and getting new stuff and stuff like that. So I'll let Mike.
Yeah, there's two vehicles that, at least one vehicle we're definitely going to be getting rid of, possibly 2. I talked to Kyle, head of security. They definitely do need a pickup truck. My suggestion was a mid-size pickup truck, something like a Ford Ranger, Chevy Colorado. Prices are, pretty reasonable, a lot less than a full-size pickup truck. So I started that process. And also, there is some equipment that we need to get rid of in the maintenance yard. I'm in the middle of looking into that. There's a bucket truck that's been sitting next to the wood pile. I don't know if you guys see it when you go to dump your trash, it's to the right. That thing's in bad shape, it's not worth fixing. So in the middle of the process of getting rid of that, bringing money back into the village. So that's, pretty much what I've been dealing with over the last couple of days, and I'm gonna get more involved as the week goes on, and I get further into the process.
So we have our next project that we're doing, we talked about it on the board this week, and they said go for it. So we're gonna try and fix the front office as you walk in to check in. And we have the floor already that was bought already, it's up in the maintenance room. So that's the next volunteer project that, because people, once we did the rocks, people have reached out and said, how do I get help out with these projects? So I will be putting something on Facebook until we get this program, which I'm gonna talk about next going. If anybody's interested in it, it's kind of like small carpentry, paint, spackle, and then installing the floor. So that's like a pergola type floor. So if anybody wants to help with that, please reach out, either on the LP website, email, sorry. So the last thing I have is I created this form, we talked about the thing, and we're gonna try and only have sheets and also be able to do it online. So I'm gonna read it to you. It says that LLB volunteer sign-up form. It has your last name, first name, your address, email, and cell phone to receive text. Then it has occupation. Then it has special skills and interests that you might be interested in, any additional comments. And then it has availability where it has boxes. It says morning, afternoon, evening, weekends, weekdays, and flexible. So we're trying to get to like a, so to speak, like a Bible, so to speak. If anybody fills this out, instead of just standing up here, if we need a plumber, we hit the word, if we get it electronically done, we hit plumber and like 6 names come out. You know what I mean? And so whether it's a carpenter or a painter or a guy that likes to grill. So this is what we're trying to do. I have some hard copies here. You're welcome to take and fill it in. You can either bring them to us or bring them to the office. Maybe Jay can collect them for me. And I think Tom's going to help us with the data part as far as the online stuff to do it there. So, but that's all I have. Thanks, guys.
Kyle in the back, so the project for the East Lake, the fence is going in, I was just thinking it might be obstructing Lake Lane a little bit. And just make sure you catch the dates so you can put cones out and monitor that traffic, make sure there's no disruption. Just something to put out there. And it's Wednesday, the 11th and 19th. Okay, roads. Well, we talked about roads, Frank and the board did at the last meeting, we had a workshop. And we're thinking about doing RFQs and getting bids so that, and information so that we can do a survey of all membership. You see, between tar and chip, asphalt, one or the other, or combo thereof. The bylaws require if it's over a certain dollar value, that the membership, not the board, the membership has to vote and has to be in favor of it. So it's best, we thought it was a great idea to start now. So in the spring, we might have approvals to go forward. So it'd be the first time since I've been involved in the village, since 2012 at least, these meetings. It's never happened before. We can make do a shot at it. We got some experts coming back on to help, and we can divide and conquer. So that's the roads. Recreation. So recreation and Rita. This is Rita's first rodeo as chair of.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for the opportunity to be able to chair the rec committee. I hope my past work experience and schooling that I had helped in the rec department. Just to recap of what's been going on lately, the luncheons have been going well. They're averaging between 25 and 35 people. We brought, the arts and crafts is doing good. The lunches, like I just said, we brought back family bingo. Matter of fact, there's one tonight. The volunteers, if you have not received your invitation, please contact me, the rec director, or Barbara Hunton, and we'll see how we can help you out. Also, the first book club meeting is January 15th. If anybody's interested in joining the book club, that's online. We're looking for the big tent, Lucas Lake had. I know it's winter time, but we're going forward because our agenda is already made 3 to 6 months ahead of time, so I want to look for that from now to see if we can find it before it gets buried behind something else. And also, who's responsible for the cleaning of these windows here? Is that something the cleaning lady does?
We have to check its maintenance or Lakewood or.
Because
I don't know.
the Anglos are gonna start putting their Christmas decorations and stuff up, and I think it would look a little bit more presentable for the dinner next week and decorations. So just let me know if there's sweeties, we have to do it. Just going
I'll
forward.
check as a manager, I'll go ahead and check the maintenance tasks. We'll get it done.
That's all I have, thank you.
And while you're up there, I wanted to say thank you and yes, I did get my invitation by the way, so there's a little delay, but it's enough time. Thank you, Ms.
You're welcome, thank you.
So, I have another announcement, with regards to recreation. Carrie Pohl has been involved for 20 years, I believe. She has resigned and I've accepted her resignation. It's copacetic, it's not an issue, it's just, she just wanted to step back from it. So, 20 years, and she's on and a wealth of information and a great lady and my neighbors. So with that, I'd like to know, do we have any nominations for the co-chair of rec?
Yes, Barbara.
All right, Barbara, do you accept, if you accept the nomination? Well, then under the rules of our bylaws, I hereby appoint you as the co-chair of rec. Co-chair.
Thank you.
Okay, Manny, rules and regs.
Good morning. I just want to make a comment before I go through all of our meetings. Any of these rules and regulations that we change or we recommend, we do not have anything against any group or any person. It strictly is to make Locust Lake Village a better community. I want to make sure everybody understands that. One decision we made that we will send all of the changes at once to the board rather than motion by motion. If the board agrees to that, we will follow that. If you want to see piece by piece, we gladly send it to you piece by piece. However makes your life easier, we are going to go. So that's a decision that board can let me. Also the minutes, I send it to the manager, but this week I send it to the office. If the board likes to see the minutes by themselves, I will gladly email it.
Okay, I didn't see it.
What's that?
I think my memory.
You want them posted on Town Square as well?
Well, it was, it should be. I emailed it on Thursday. I was very busy at work and I couldn't get to it, but I did email it on Thursday. If you don't want, please post it.
Yes, and if you have to have anything posted on Town Square, I asked you to CC me on it, as we're having interim, so I can update Town
So I
Square.
emailed it to manager. So-
Right, that would go with him.
Well, I know that, but before I did email it to Rob. So if you see it, you can post it.
Okay,
Okay, thank you.
I'll do that.
We had another lovely 2.5 hours meeting. We have some new members that have been great and they have been very, very helpful. There were 3 issues that we're still working on, reducing the 50 page to something less, streamlining the permit and fine process, and Sharon in our committee is creating a chart that hopefully will be helpful. Homeowners policy and other insurance policies, I'm working on it, talk to the insurance carriers. There is some wording that's missing in a lot of our policies that I will send it to the board for approval, okay?
Okay.
But that needs some work, I have to do that. New business is that we finally decided and agreed to put long-term STR rentals in one area. And anything that pertains to STR, including property manager, if they don't have a property manager, if the owner is not available, there will be a fine, and there will be a $75 charge for any rangers to take care of it. All of that rules, we are putting it under all rentals, long-term or short-term. That's something that we agree. Guest wrestling will not be sold to owners of STR or long-term rentals. No more guest rentals for any rental unit.
What kind of rentals?
Guest rentals, guest bracelets, I'm sorry,
Oh,
guest
oh,
bracelets, I'm sorry. I can't read my own handwriting. Guest bracelets will not be sold to any rental unit. We are working with a software that hopefully exists that arranges can you.
Repeat that real quick.
That last one?
Like, guest bracelet will not be sold to
We have a
any.
microphone,
Yeah, you
man.
probably should have
I don't think I need it.
Yeah, do them.
Well, you need to go in back.
I'm sorry. Guest rentals will not be sold to any rental unit.
Guest bracelets.
Guest bracelets, I'm sorry, I keep saying rental, guest bracelets, I'm sorry, guest bracelets will not be sold to any rental unit.
We have, one second, we have a comment from somebody here.
How is that permitted under our founding documents, since rentals are permitted, you have to permit, and it's been done since 1970?
Okay, if you wanna go there, our covenant does not allow rental or anybody having work, anybody running business out of their unit. You can go back to
That's not,
56.
this is already
It's
been,
already been established.
Okay.
It has been established.
Okay.
it's been established here, there was an issue with rentals, 2 weeks, they were trying to pass a 2-week, that was resolved. Rentals are permitted under our covenants, and the bylaws cannot be changed without changing the covenants.
You're
That is.
absolutely correct.
Hmm?
You're absolutely correct. This has nothing to do, this is just guest bracelets will not be sold to any
That's a
rental.
regulation that's not permitted under the covenants. You're restricting
But-
what's permitted under the covenants.
It's a discussion that when we
So
send
let's
to
take
the
it
board, they can
offline.
figure it out.
Let's take it out, we can take it offline, I'll involve you, that's Chris Silver, Yakarina, right?
Yes.
And I'll take it offline with you and Manny, we'll get it resolved.
That's fine, that's what I'm saying, that's fine. Again, all of these things will be sent to the board either at once, or if you prefer piecemeal, I'll gladly send it to you.
Well, if it's urgent, I wanna see it immediately, but if it's a bunch of like 9 or 10 minor things, I want, that's 10 motions if we, otherwise we can do it in one. I'm just thinking about efficiencies. So,
Ginny Emanuel, 1569 Lake Lane. If you're going to,
What's the microphone?
Thompson? I'm sorry.
if you're going to charge your neighbors who rent an extra charge if they're not available by phone, does that also apply to permanent homeowners who cannot be reached in a 30-minute period as well?
If it's not rental, we did not discuss it. If it's something you'd like us to discuss, gladly we'll discuss it.
So then my next question is, why have you not reached out to the rental committee about some of these rules and regulations that we could discuss?
I have two rental owners on our committee, and they had their own opinion, and we agreed and we talked about it.
However, you have a
One
committee
is
to
STO,
work with.
one is STO, and one is long-term rental.
That's okay. We have those same kinds of people on our committee. Why have you not reached out to our committee as one of your committees to reach over the aisle and talk about this?
There are certain parts of rules and regulations that we are just trying at this point to clear it out, okay? However you want us to pursue it, you're more than welcome to come to our meeting and say, it, okay? Whatever you like to say. Our meeting is published, we do once a month. Again, we have a long-term rental and we have a short-term rental on our committee.
So my original
Okay,
question is, I just have one of my original question answered. Will a homeowner that can't be reached also be charged the $75?
And I think I answered it 5 minutes ago.
Yeah, no.
We will discuss it the next meeting.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
we gotta try to stay on schedule here, so.
Okay, I go very quickly, really, a couple of other things, I guess software hopefully for rangers to monitor the cars. We are clarifying certain instant booking, which I believe Elias, who is a short-term rental, brought it up, and he was very helpful in that. We are working on a recreational vehicle, with recreational noise and speed safety, and that will be sent to the board when it's available. One of our members sent us a great Pennsylvania regulation that has been a big problem. And the last thing is that we agreed that any owner who has multiplied lots, they have to be current on their dues for every lot before they can build on any of those lots.
Okay. Your comments are, you done with that's your report?
Thank you.
Okay.
Next meeting is December.
We have,
December, I'm sorry,
I don't know the date, sometimes in December.
December what?
We'll put it on Town Square.
Thank you.
so it will be published on Town Square. We have, I have one, Eliason behind having a question, and I know Wilczek, Mr. Wilczek, you have one, right?
Just a statement.
Okay, so I'm gonna go with Elias real quick.
I'm going to circle back to the 30-minute response time. This is a township rule that we're just trying to enforce because we had a couple of instances where the homeowner was non-responsive and security had to go there. This is what Manny's trying to cover. But it's per township rules. If you're managing or own a property, the owner or the manager has to be reachable within a 30-minute drive. So if that person is not reachable, it's against the rules and they will lose their license. So that's what Manny's trying to cover, but he's talking about a service fee. So if the person is not reachable, non-responsive, then security will go out there. There will be a fee because they're covering us and doing whatever that needed to be done. If the guest is stuck, something is stuck, gas leak, whatever, security will go handle it. That will be a $75 fee because they're doing it. And other than that, the fine to the owner or the manager because they're not reachable, not following the Tobiana Township rules of the 30-minute drive, that's a ticket, and I don't know what we call it that would be. So that's all Manny's trying to cover.
Okay, there is, by the way, there is an STR report out and three more committee reports. So STR does have a time to talk on this matter.
This isn't about STR. I'm not.
Okay, go ahead.
When I have a hand up, well, Mike had his hand up first.
Mike, you had a comment to make?
I attended the rules and regulations, and Manny did a great job as far as the report. The thing is, it's a recommendation by a committee, just because the committee discussed things in regards to what's by law, what's by the township, what needs to get done. This is not, I understand, hard and fast.
It's an advisory group.
It's an advisory committee, and the thing is, my attendance there, they covered a lot of areas, they're very, very thorough, and it's going to be a recommendation to the board, and the board can say yes or no. And we're going to protect you as far as the homeowners here in regards to what their rights are.
Yeah. You know what, I was gonna just thinking out loud, that Manny, that this is your second month doing this, and you're being transparent about what you're talking about. You're gonna publish all these things too, but maybe, while they're in draft form, they could be published, but remember, it's not a rule yet. It will be reviewed by this body. This body will then go and do all the due diligence as well. That's just for some of the other STR owners and whatnot. So this is just advisory, but we'll address it. We'll address it in the final approval process as a body. So just giving you some idea. Now, Kathy.
So I did mention this last week during the budget meeting. I talked to you specifically about it waiting on the phone. Our covenants are a page and a half long. The only thing the rules and regulations can clarify are the covenants and your bylaws. You can't get 50 pages out of 1.5 pages. I don't know where Locust Lake has gone rogue with all of this, but 7 years ago, our rules and regulations were 14 pages long. Where they turned into 50 pages and where anyone on the board at the time that all of these got put into place, wherever they got some information or maybe it wasn't questioned whether or not it was legal or not, it is not legal. There is no legal basis for it. And when the Rules and Regulations Committee was put together, it was put together to consolidate how the rules and regulations had gotten completely out of hand, including fines. And the part that I find extremely rich is that Pat, and I'm no disrespect to Pat, but Pat ran on a platform that she felt that fines were too high in the association. I did not know that Manny is her husband, but all he talks about is coming up with more fines for different people. Last month he mentioned a $10,000 fine. It's insanity, and someone's gonna sue Locust Lake, including me, and you guys will not be happy because I have already spoken to an attorney, not about any of this stuff. He actually told me, he goes, listen, let's handle this part first, and you can, if you wanna deal with that. He said, but absolutely, they have no right to do anything besides what is in your covenants. You can clarify the covenants, you can look it up Talk to your attorney. All you can do is specify, which is already our rules. None of these things are in our
So are you
rules.
saying my bylaws?
The bylaws are basically about like how the board sits, what you guys do, how you do meetings. The covenants are where the rules stem from. The bylaws get into the operations of Locust Lake Village and how you guys do meetings and things like that. The covenants are where you get your rules from. There's nothing in here. It is a page and a half long, and you have 50 pages of rules and regulations, and now they're gonna get to be like 60 pages. He's not consolidating
So-
them, he's making them longer.
Well, I'm reading it.
Can I interject for a second? We extensively studied the covenant first and a part of the bylaw committee, and we're still waiting for the chair to get us in front of the lawyer. We've been waiting since June to get an opinion on some of the questions that we have from the covenants and the bylaws. I don't know who's speaking, but you're looking at that Schedule A, and we saw that too. And the last guy has told us that LLB was created on a series of Schedule A's. I have one, and I got the one I got from the office, and also I think Christy Yacarino gave me one. It's slightly different, but some of the questions that we have for the covenants are there different variations out there that we need to put together? And you're right, some of our covenants are very, very, that's what we have. We have 1.5 pages. There's some interpretation that needs to be evaluated by the lawyer. We had some questions too, as to if there were some that were during the declarative turnover, and some that, remain relevant for today's world. And then there's some violations between the covenants and the rules and regulations that need to be clarified. So some legal advice may needs to be had on this, but I think it's Kathy's point.
It is,
We do have a 50-page document of rules and regulations, that we have a very small document on covenant bylaws. But Kathy, we also have a financial policy, and that's like, I don't know, maybe 20-something pages that cover some of the things that probably other developments have.
The covenants
in their
supersede
bylaws.
anything.
Yeah.
Covenants
So,
supersede
or these
anything.
comprehensive review.
Covenants supersede anything. The covenants will always supersede anything.
That's true.
Even if the bylaws say
Yeah,
something,
we
the
do,
covenants
we do,
supersede
we
this.
do.
And just to get back to what Joanne started with that saying is, I asked the attorney at the member meeting, you cannot change them. It will never get changed. You will not be able to change them. You will never get 2/3 of our association to vote. And if you want it, unless you're gonna get a different attorney, but then that will get legally challenged as well. You
Yes.
cannot change them.
Kathy, we also asked the attorney, and we know about the change.
Well, then why are you letting it go on?
The change
Well, I'm
of
disagreeing with the
change
vote.
articles of incorporation, that's your second option.
The articles of
That's something that we
incorporation
will
are
look at.
literally the same thing as your bylaws.
Order, please. We're moving on.
Oh, can I just, one point of
State your
clarification?
name, please.
Krista Yacarino, 214 Fawn Road. I just wanted to speak to what Joanne said. I did give her the covenants when my family bought the property in 1969. They are the original covenants of this development.
Oh, I'd like, because the copies we have in 1970s, but it was in this.
Oh, then 1970.
It's not-
They were in contract in 1969.
Okay, the 70s were that.
Okay.
Manny.
I'll take that. Again, I hope nobody takes this personally. We are here just to clean the rules and regulation. All right? Nobody is here to say you have to pay more, you have to pay less. Yes, we are reducing the 50-page to much less rules and regulation. Board has to approve all the motion that we send, and we are proud of all the work that we're doing. We have a wonderful group, and please don't take this personally. It's for all of us. Thank you.
Somehow we've gotten along this whole time without all this stuff. 50 years we've owned here, and we haven't needed all of this stuff, but all of a sudden, in the last 5 years, all of this has been added. Like, were we a disaster 10 years ago? I mean, it's ridiculous, and all you were doing is opening up Locust Lake to be sued, and the fact is, I know some of you think, oh, well, if you're sued, your insurance is gonna cover it. Guess what? When you do things that you know are against the law, your insurance will not cover you, and not only that, once you get sued, your premiums will go up on your insurance, and guess who's paying for it?
Running
tonight, I'm gonna ask you to try
That's
to
fine.
maintain, or I'll have to ask you. So that's the end of those questions. All right. Now it's bylaws. There's been no bylaw meetings. Now we're at STR.
Thank you. Put my glasses on. Good morning, everybody. I'm glad to see the meeting is well attended. I'd like to take a few minutes to clarify the short-term rental committee's position regarding the proposed budget. Our primary concern is that the proposed STR fee structure is not compliant with Pennsylvania law, regardless of how fees are calculated. The Board of Directors has a fiduciary duty to ensure that our budget complies with these statutes governing costs that are legally attributed to property owners to rent their home, your neighbors, by the way. Before the start of this budget cycle, as in prior years, the SDR committee made multiple requests through the community treasurer to meet with the finance committee to discuss the methodology, data, and cost allocations. Unlike in previous years, however, these requests dating back to August were either denied or deferred. So no meetings to actually occurred and no data was shared. I want to give you a little brief history. I've been on the short-term rental committee for 7 years. When Tobyhanna passed their STR ordinances in somewhere around 2022, the office had to rebuild all of their permitting systems. It was a nightmare. At the time, our permit fees went to $825. We agreed to it at the time with the knowledge that we had. There was little legal precedent or guidance at the time, but we worked closely with the office. Originally, the community charged an a la carte process for wristbands, vehicle passes, angler permits. Because these amenities were seasonal, wristbands were not always necessary. The STR committee collaborated with the office to streamline these processes, reducing the manual work, the physical costs, and refine the process, improving efficiency. As a result, the permit fee was lowered to $600 this year, and the permit per rental fee was introduced for rentals year-round. This ultimately generated more revenue for the community, and did so in a system that was created more fairly. It's $35 per rental year-round. However, just before the rentals began in January, the board staff moved reservation process fully online, which eliminated most of the manual labor and also did not justify the $35 fee that the renters pay. We don't. Despite that change, the fee continued. In May, new federal reporting requirements further changed how this fee was collected, creating significant and arguably unnecessary accounting complications. So where are we now? Since then, case law has evolved regarding what an HOA may legally charge STRs for the legal operational landscape as the legal operational landscape continues to shift. Our board has been apprised of the legality of rental charges and is thus moving forward against that legal issue. Last night, we were on a Zoom meeting with many members of the budget committee and some other owners of your neighbors who rent. And we offered a $600 fee to continue, discontinue the $35 rental fee, and then we would help put procedures in to flush out some of the other detailed costs, such as trash. Is there really more trash from a renter, or is there really more trash from a homeowner that lives here permanently? We can flush that out, we get paid. For that reason, this year's STR budget cannot simply be compared to prior years. The legal framework, administrative processes, and cost structures have changed significantly. The STR committee's mission remains consistent to ensure that LLV's fee structure is lawful, transparent, fair, and efficient for everyone. After reviewing the proposal shared on last night's Zoom meeting, we must formally object to the methodology and legality of the data as being applied. This is not a personal issue. It is about compliance with the law and protecting our community from potential and legal and financial exposure. I'm sure there are questions.
Jenny, as the previous STR liaison, can you just clarify if you in any way, shape, or form envision that I did not follow through with providing your updates or recommendations or asking for meetings? Did I fail you in any way, shape, or form in getting meetings with the budget subcommittee?
No, and in fact, we disagreed with you on some of the things that you said. I mean, you just presented what they've presented in a more digestible fashion. Still didn't make any sense, but, and we still didn't agree with it.
I just wanted to clarify, because you had said earlier in a statement that you had requested to meet with the budget committee or requested information we didn't get.
Through the treasurer, I personally reached out.
I'd like to say something. Wait, Jen said that with the new system of the 635, we made more money. That's not true. They projected us to make 317,000. We're about 252,000 right now. So that's a false statement. Second thing, I was on that. I did not hear a proposal by them. I didn't hear no proposal by you guys last night.
I didn't hear, I have to admit,
I just wanted to clear those two things up. Thank you.
I'll validate what you say. I did not hear there was a proposal by, I didn't hear it. Just, but I'm hearing it now, but I didn't hear
There had been
it.
a proposal submitted via email
Didn't hear
to the
last night.
LLB board.
Maybe,
So in my statement, I mentioned that when the $65 and the 600 was budgeted in August of last year, at that time it was projected to create more income. Less rentals this year negated that, but it's not about how much we make, it's about how much is expensed.
First, there wasn't less rentals. They were projected. The budget committee came up and said they were flat.
Correct, flat for 2 years.
Flat for 2 years. So that's roughly around the same amount of thing. And I don't know how you can project more money when you lower two things. They lowered it from 800 to 600, and then they put it down to 35, which if you added up everything the year before was like almost $45 or something like that, somewhere around there, right? So how could you lower everything and then expect to make $30,000 more? That's not how you do a budget.
That was my question last night.
Excuse me, let me try to clarify that. And in my statement, I mentioned that the $35 was more, generated more income than the a la carte piece that was done the year before. You know, charging annual fees. We actually recommended $30.
But it was 25 to 35. The
25 to
original
$35.
recommendation was 25 to 35, and the finance committee went with a 35 as the high end of the.
And STR agreed to it.
So when we projected the amount, it came out to be more, and it was all year round, not just in the summertime.
We discussed a lot of this last night on the SCR clause. Some of it is being taken under consideration. But what we can't do for this 2026 year budget is bicker about the past. So it's on the information that we have, that what we don't have is a result of not getting it from the methodologies from the prior year. Happy to look at all of that. We've gone round and round the circles with this quite a few times. If you have something that you want us to evaluate, like I have from Darlene on the call last night, I actually have something to evaluate. Happy to do that. So if you were to send us an email or text me or take it offline, we're happy to work on this. That's why we had that call last night, that open forum, and I reached out to one of the members immediately. So if you would have an offline discussion with us, we're happy to do that. That's why we did that last night.
The SDR committee has submitted 2 proposals already that were ignored.
So just for some clarification, Darlene Apollo, 121 Hillside. You're comparing $317,000 of a budget to actual revenues. You cannot compare budgets and actuals because one's a projection and one's reality. I would happily tell you what the 2024 number was, but that information is not available on Town Square. So the December 2024 financial reports are not on Town Square, that they're visible. If somebody would please present them or put them out there so we can look at them and do some comparatives, that would be fantastic.
So she's right, the 2024 financials aren't out there. That's what Joe dropped her was treasurer, so we need to add those. You might want to get Jen or somebody in the office to add them. I don't know why they're not out there. I saw them as well.
Just to clarify again my statement, we're not really interested in looking at what we did last year or the year before. The climate is changing, the laws are changing, so therefore we need to change every year as well.
Well, we definitely need to work together. Getting in these exchanges they're not conducive to a result that's going to be positive.
Hi, my name's Alan Kubis, 232 Partridge Drive. I have a question for Frank. The money that we're using for a short-term rental, what is that for? Is it for maintenance around here too, or is it just to cover the office fees?
It's going to a bunch of things. It's going to security, all administration, trash, maintenance, infrastructure, stuff like that.
So is it going to like to do the tennis courts over?
No, that's coming out of capital and reserve.
Really? Did you realize that I was in the car yesterday with, excuse me, Joanne, I was in the car yesterday with Joanne. Tell her to stop, please.
Joanne, you have to wait. Joanne, wait.
Not by our team. We made that perfectly clear last night.
I was in the car with my wife coming home from the football game. In the car, I overheard Frank say that we're using the money to do the tennis courts over and do something with the chalet or something like that. Does that sound like a Jew? And I overheard her say, you did say it. I overheard you. You did say it.
I'm gonna clarify. He was making a comment of total expenses impacting how we get everything done if we're not covering all expenses. I will back Frank up on that. His intent was to say, if we don't cover all of our expenses.
You said that, what the short-term rentals want? Don't they need a new tennis court?
Please stop.
My point was, if we don't get money for there, how are we going to do the tennis courts? How are we going to do, because now we gotta take the money for that we get from dues and put it over there, so now it doesn't work. But I did not say.
Doesn't that sound like you're using STR
No, it
budget
doesn't.
money for
All
other
right, we're
things?
using that in capital reserve. So now we don't make them, and now we can't fund the capital reserve because we gotta fund the everyday maintenance.
Again,
I think you're just slicing it into
Against funding the
Now,
capital
you wanna hear, you guys
reserve.
wanna hear, I did not say that, 100%, and your wife was in the car, I just back.
I heard what I heard.
Okay, time out, I'm serious. We'll just adjourn the meeting. So we gotta work this together. What you heard, if it was true, it's not true, it's your own, the wife was here, she sat right next to me, she debunked that, so that's a misunderstanding. Well, and I'm gonna get real clear, we already talked about this, the monies that are charged for fees go for the costs of the STR. That's the bottom line. We can't mix words with this and say it's going to the deck or it's going to a road. That we're not getting into. We have to get down to what the allocation is that's only for the STRs. That's what we've been working on. Now last night, there was some, and what Joanne's saying is we're taking some of the takeaways is we found some things last night through the discussions. Those were good discussions. These are not good discussions. We're actually doing something about it. So, and you can roll your eyes, that's okay, you're free to do that. But I'm saying that's the current status right now. Is that at least it's not going, to my knowledge, we're gonna put it up for a vote, but it's to get it on the schedule as an event for today that turns into old business. And that's what I think we're gonna do. But this is going back and forth. It's clear you can't be taking money and spending it. You can't try to make it as a profit center. It absolutely cannot be a profit center. It's supposed to cover only the cost of the STRs. Is that clear?
Apparently not.
I think it would be clear if we saw where the money was.
But the point is, we're dancing around up here trying to explain data that we don't have. And what we're trying to do is have a good methodology and good allocation for the future. And if anything needs to be discussed about what happened in the past, it can't come from this committee. But what we know is there's expenses related to STR, and any money that's spent from the commons, expenses on STRs, is refundable to the other members. It works both ways. While we can't make a profit off of STR, you can't have the residents spend money that's attributable to the cost of STRs. So it's all level. While we get through this process, we expect a little grace. Because I'll tell you what, you guys have gotten a lot of grace over the last few years while you said
This isn't helpful, please.
Okay.
You can't do this.
All right.
I just want to make the recommendation one more time. I recommend that we leave the permit fee at $600, discontinue the $35, and put in place procedures that will actually count the costs that are attributable to rentals.
Because it, okay.
That's the
I
committee's
just-
recommendation.
I heard the communication, and that was provided last night?
Yeah, in advance of last night's meeting.
Okay,
That too. I said last.
all right.
Can I second that and just say that if we don't have a good plan in place, we shouldn't make a decision. We should gather our information and make a decision based on something that we're confident in. And I was on the meeting last night, and the numbers and the methodology that was used there was flaws throughout the entire part of it. And the flaws weren't answerable.
Did you hear what I just said? We had a meeting afterwards and came to those kind of conclusions. Some of these things needed to be looked at, and we're not gonna get answers and everything done. This board, on my honor, this board, we talked about it for another hour. I think, and that wasn't 10 minutes, it was another hour. And I vouch for my board members. I mean, we were rock solid, we thought, until actually some members came out. I think it was Mr. Hollow. Where is she? Yeah, that one was when I think was clear as day to me. But it's just makes a question mark. How do you add, so your unit measure has to be the same. So we did talk about this stuff. This team is a good team. They're not trying to mess. It's just a matter of we gotta get to the end result. I welcome, this board will welcome this new proposal, something we can look at. But we talked about tabling. Did we not talk about tabling it? We did. So there wouldn't be this. We're not here to make an uninformed decision. It's our duty to look at something. So otherwise, we're held liable. So we're tabling it, but we'll get it. We're going to get a motion for it. Get a second. We're going to open it for discussion. Then we're going to say what I just said, and then it's tabled. There's no decision. So we're not, and that's what we talked about.
So I respect that you're going to table it. Can we respectfully ask for the information in advance of the week before the vote? Right? I mean, because that's what made
it's close, right?
the fire last night, right?
No, you know what? When you looked up at the Saturday meeting, we made some representations. This board actually talked again, and we said we said in his presence, I was the one walking around with a mic, and we said we'd get back to it, and that's why we pushed it through. We're keeping our word. But it was granted, it was last minute, 4 o'clock announcement for a 7 o'clock meeting. So again, it's tabled. But this board is a good board, and we're trying to do it the right way. Arguing that's counter to production.
Can I add one last comment?
Please.
I was asked to be the IT guy and to moderate last night and get the Zoom operational and to keep it knitting everyone on. There was over 30 plus participants.
36.
Over 30 plus participants. It was ranging from 30 to 36 to 32. A few people had dropped off and then asked to get back on by mobile. Elias, you were one of them. I kept making sure you got back in. I tried to do my best, and I think I did that as far as making sure everyone was heard. There was a lot of questions, just for anyone who wasn't on the meeting last night. There was a lot of questions. People were respectful, and they put their hands up on Zoom. And as a moderator of the IT part, I made sure everyone had a say, everyone was able to talk. I do very appreciate what I just heard right now in the room, that the STR committee has made a proposal that might be an option to consider to navigate the waters, to move forward. I respect that, thank you very much, because that's what I was hoping for. If you notice, I was being more a moderator last night, so I like the fact that we have something to move forward, and as we discussed, it's premature to move forward, but now we have something to evaluate. Thank you.
Tom, I think the only problem with the job you did last night was it was so good, you're going to be asked to do it again.
Stay for the STR meeting.
I was asked to get the Zoom up and running and drop off, but then I stayed on to the entirety. But like I said, I think just for the room, There was a lot of people that raised questions, and I tried to make sure everyone was heard, and even with the follow-up questions, that they were heard for follow-up.
I was being sincere, not sarcastic.
No, I appreciate that, thank you.
It worked both ways.
And the gentleman that was in, the gentleman I was talking to, what was your name, Reginald, or something like that?
Me?
Yes.
Jason.
Close. That's just a memory thing that
I'll go by Reginald.
Do you have a question, comment?
Somebody over here?
Hello, Pamela Rice, 1395 Lake Lane, right here. I may be coming from left field, but I am a full-time homeowner, not an STR person at all. And as for total costs that you want to compile, there are nebulous costs to STRs. Every complaint I've ever had about living at Locust Lake Village have all been nuisance aspects to living near STRs. So you can't really quantify those. Just a comment. I mean, I've been here for 5 years, and I think the homeowners have a point of view here as well.
Okay, with that, I think we'll move on. We're gonna do Ski Hill, and I'll talk about Ski Hill. We're up and running, all inspections passed. We're gonna conduct the projects. Are they gonna do the wood on the hill? And that's gonna be spring, right?
Yeah, I think it's going to be two couples maintenance. That's not a volunteer project, that's going to be maintenance.
Okay.
We got it in 2026 projects.
Okay, so, but we don't need any more work to be done before we're operational. We're gonna do training for the lift itself. And at the end of the month, there'll be some announcements, and we'll get out there and run the lift and practice, for volunteers. And we need volunteers only for when the storm hits on a weekend, where maintenance is out plowing and doing the safety work. Then volunteers like myself and Dave and whoever else we have, we will actually operate the lift so that we can open. The inspection will be done, I know how to do it. We can open and still operate it for the 4 to 6 hours for the kids and adults during the storm. If the storm is midweek or something like that, we'll have volunteers, but we'll be primarily staffed by maintenance. So and rec. So rec, we're gonna do that. Rec. Okay, there you go. Then we're gonna open the chalet. We'll have chocolate and stuff like that. So, that's all I got from Steel for now. Strategic planning, to my knowledge, there's been no meetings on that. Mario Marbora has not. I have to reach out to him again. And then we had fair hearing. Is Diane Sandra. We have a fair hearing report, and that will be discussed in our. Oh, that was actually we moved that to the next meeting because we found some inconsistencies. Here, there's a disruption going on.
Kyle's on.
Okay, Kyle's on it. All right. Old business. I'd like to get a motion. So I'm moving into the motions and old business. The motion is to accept and ratify the vote that we took on November 11, 2025 for account number 102-1541 to write off $6,137.77. Payment on this account has been satisfied under a prepayment plan and is now complete. This is strictly on the interest fees that are attached to during the period of the payment agreement, so that if they pay properly, that gets waived. But they complied, so that's what we did. It's just a ratification of an email that we as a board voted on already. So I need a motion, please, for this item. A motion. Second, please.
I'll second.
Okay. In favor of the motion? Raise your hand. Aye.
Any discussion?
Oh, well, no, discussion. There has to be discussion first.
Try to fill some residents in. In our financial policy, and delinquent payments. A member agrees that the delinquent payment will be approved or denied at the discretion of the association manager and an officer of the board of directors. Now, I did see a document as far as per this payment plan. I saw the chairman of the board. I didn't see the association managers on that document. Wait, let me finish, please. Okay, I did see the person as far as with his payment plan. Now, this goes back, the payment plan was agreed to back in, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, January of 2024. I don't know, we're 2 years ago. Prior to that, also in the financial plan, okay, on the overview of collections, where it says as far as anything over 90 days late, we go through a process of 4 different things as far as the collection agency, magistrate court, and also for our members for sale and foreclosure. Apparently that didn't happen over 2 years. Now we're waiving, okay, his fines of $6,137, but amount that he owed over $15,000. That's a nice chunk of change when you don't pay your bills, and all of a sudden we say, fine, we're gonna forgive $6,000. I think everybody here would enjoy a $6,000 credit because even if they paid their dues. I believe, one of the comments here, we're voting on this because there's a possibility, because it was signed by the association chairperson on the board. Although it says here, the delinquency payment at the discretion, both the manager and the officer of the board needed to sign it. I didn't see that, and that we would possibly be sued. And I was looking at in regards to what's the possibility of the on one hand being sued, and what would it cost the association? I mean, if we're being sued because he's selling the property now, and the thing is, he wants a clearance of saying, fine, he can sell the property. If he didn't get that, he may sue the village for the cost of loss of sales. At that point in time, if we agreed on the last loss of the sale, we would have a value of the property equal to what we paid for, probably more. But we still have an outlay of $6,000. Procedures are not being followed. And it seems like we're pushing this down the road again. You always hear, well, that was before. Now we're gonna make a change. I've been here 4 or 5 years, going back on the board, and we make the same thing over and over and over again. And the thing is, as far as, if we're going to be sued, but the thing is, I have a heartache because the thing is, this is one, as far as motion for the forgiving of the $6,000. And if I recall, there's like 4 or 5 times each month where they have write-offs. Each write-off of $6,000, if you have 5 of them, that's $30,000 a month. 12 months, you're talking about $360,000. Equates to that's almost anywhere between 12 and 18% of our budget that we're just writing off. We need to have accountability here. And the thing is, it appears to me one person, I would say, fine, where is this manager's signature? And this was going back into Judy a year ago, that she was here. Why isn't her signature on this? And did the lawyer put this proposal or payment plan together?
So the answer is, this goes back to January of '24. The manager was Judy. She didn't sign it, he's correct. The policy said that the manager and the chairman of the board could enter into agreement.
It says approved, it doesn't say sign.
Yeah, it didn't say sign, but the point is, it could even, and it should be, so what we did is corrective action already. The board, not one member of the board, because there could be conflicts of interest. It's an actual, the board is an actionable item now. We're changing the policy. So we shouldn't talk, so when you talk about an agreement to pay, so he signed an agreement under terms. So what I said was that this isn't gonna be a breach of contract if we didn't do it. And that's what I said. We shouldn't really be, and typically I'm breaking the rules. We're not supposed to talk about legal stuff in an open forum.
We're talking about SCRs in a legal forum.
So, this is just a formality. This was necessary. It's on an agreement with a member of our community, and the new members coming in, and they had they wanted a resale certificate. So it was getting pressing, and so that's why I pushed it hard. I didn't like it, but that's what's in the best interest, I believe, in this community. So hold me responsible, Tom.
This is something that we're correcting for 2026 as well as putting in many errors that we found from the prior administration. But I think Mike's right to call it as we see it. We see some things here now that we're being called out on that, maybe weren't perfect from the past. There's some things that, have some ethical considerations that really need to be looked at, like what Mike said. Well, this board's going to essentially change it. We're going to be held accountable for each issue that we rise up, we bring to the public. We're the ones being notified for it. I think the community needs to give us grace for discovering things that need to be done.
May I say something?
Yes, Jen.
To that payment plan that you said that the board chair signed for it, and Judy was in there, Judy had left in 2024. So the board chair was also interim at the same time.
So we were in compliance. Okay, so this is what happened. I forgot about it. Judy left. It was on
2024, December of 2024.
Well, this was signed in January of 2024.
There was no manager to sign. When Christensen, like I am right now, I'm the manager and the chairman, so they complied.
Okay,
so
the point is, this isn't, but the point is waived. Okay?
This is not the appropriate, stopping this. This discussion is done.
Thank you.
So, was anybody else having a discussion on it?
I'm ready to vote.
All right, let's vote. All in favor? And any against?
I vote no.
Okay, and
I vote no.
So 2 noes, and what, Joanne?
Joanne?
I have to vote yes, even though I don't want to. I'll go on record saying that policy is unethical and it's done improperly. But the fact of the matter is, as an association at legal risk to be sued, so our hands were tied. So it was a yes for me, so I could get it done through the judge.
Motion passes.
Totally disagree.
Motion passes.
We'll second Frank.
And 2 negatives. We got, the motion passes. That's the old business. New business. Motion to accept a lot perk test for property 309-310 Wagner. The perk test actually failed, so we need to change the unit type from a lot to a lot that's non-perk for the. So that's
Just
what
for record.
For the record. That's all it is for. Now a motion, please.
So moved.
So David Harris makes the motion.
Second.
Second. 0 seconds. And any discussion?
I didn't get a document saying that it was still about it.
It was in the.
It was in the SharePoint file that everybody got.
It was in our documents for our workshop, and we all reviewed them, like, you have to kind of go
So
through
this,
it.
all right, so we have still a motion, right?
Yes, we have a
Second. We've got this discussion. In favor? Aye. Negative?
Yes.
Okay, so Mr. Wilczek's negative. Here's another one, we talked about this in workshop. This is for motion to ratify the hiring of Sean Van Way as a full-time ranger, be third shift. All screening and approval as per the policies have been satisfactorily completed, and a letter of recommendation from Kyle has been received and reviewed. So the motion, do I have a motion for this full-time hires have to be approved by the board, part-times do not. So full-time hire is what we're doing right now. So I asked for a motion to hire Sean Van Way.
So moved. Motion.
Okay, Tom Travier, and it's primary motion, secondary is Frank DeVito.
Second.
Okay,
Frank second.
All in favor? Or any discussion? Okay.
Oh, sorry.
All in favor? Any discussion? He's already employed, this is a formality.
Yeah, okay, yes.
So everyone's a yes, so
Yes.
I'll pass. Do you yes?
Yes. Actions are taken. The man's hired already, okay, before we even approve it, okay? And I did bring this up at the meeting before. You know, I'd like to see some backup in regards to, you know, we're increasing our workforce. And probably 2 or 3 years ago, I did a little bit checking last
Like we
month.
discussed this at the workshop, and Kyle wants to
I'm
address it.
trying to educate the residents here to see if this is my position. I'm saying that I disagree.
Okay, so your answer is no. So then we go with that said, so then we have a majority vote, it passes. I wanted to also say that this gentleman's been third shift and the third day on the job, and it was in the letter of recommendation. He actually helped one of our residents, and we got accolades, and it was noted in the file with the chief of security. So I think it's a good hire. He was under a temporary hire, 90 days. This is the formality, and it was in the packet. So let's move forward. Motion to approve, we're gonna defer this, right?
It's a 2026 budget, we deferred that.
Yeah, I'm on the skid steer. So there was a skid steer.
Is this the one from yesterday, but we might take out a capital, is that what we're talking about?
Yes, I kind of thought we should try to address it.
I didn't determine if it was coming out of capital or operating yet, you can still proceed with the purchase, but we gotta go back and check that out.
It's on the agenda.
Thank you, you gotta defer, please.
I got it, sorry. Yeah, I had pulled up the previous one.
Okay. So we just need to get motion that it's, it needs to be repaired for the winter. So it's in, and we need to buy a part. The part's about $5,500. And we're getting, we don't know which bucket of money it comes out of, so that's a formality, but we need to approve the repair because it's an item we need for.
This doesn't need a motion for operating, and that's where right now it's coming from. If we determine through the account, if you go into capital, we'll need a motion, so can you please defer this until the next account?
So I'm gonna read it again, Joanne. And to not to exceed the funding, and it shall come out of capital improvement fund is what we were thinking. So you're saying now that it's opposite, you want to pay?
Wait, this spreadsheet wasn't done to be working, so I don't want to discuss all the details. But yesterday we gave approval, it needs to be run through the account, whether it's a capital expense or not.
The comment was from the bookkeeper where she thought it should come from. Now you're telling me we gotta go like accountant or accountants? We're a board, who runs the village? Let's go ahead and we can approve this. If we have to modify it, we will. But we're here, we've got people here waiting, we act, and we move forward. And we can fix it. But let's get it on the books, and it can turn into something for old business for the next meeting.
So am I understanding you correctly, Wade, that the motion is to approve and currently it's out of capital, but if we find that
If it's coming out,
it needs to be out of reserve or operating, we can do an amendment to the funding later?
I want a taxi.
Is that what I'm hearing you say?
That's right. I want a taxi for takeoff, and if I have to abort, I will. But I want to go ahead and just leave the room. We're here. Let's do it. Motion, please.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
I'll second.
So Tom, good. Any further discussion?
I'm just gonna say, building ground, specifically went to check the machine out.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, I met with Tom Russell yesterday morning, just to give an explanation to the members. It's a skid steer. I priced out new ones after I left. They range from $70,000 to $95,000. It's a 2018 skid steer. They took the liberty of taking it apart instead of sending it out. And I looked at the parts, I definitely agreed with what needed to be done. It was either fix that unit or get rid of it and buy a new one. So for our maintenance crew to take on that responsibility and do it in-house, I know it's gonna cost some hours, man hours to do it. That I have to get together with Tom to figure out how much time they spend on it.
but it's still gonna be a lot less money than $70,000 to $95,000 for that skid steer. And they use it for numerous things, lifting heavy things way overhead. They use it in the salt shed. They use it for removing things with the boat racks. So it's a very valuable piece of equipment, and I think in the motion it says the amount of $7,000. That includes fluids, bolts. There's a lot of extra parts they need to get. So that, hopefully that explains everything.
It's not about the need, it's about where the fund comes from.
Okay.
Right now, it's approved out of operating, and we're working on ethics, we're moving it, working on the capital. I'm going to vote no, because I have to verify that the capital
Okay.
expenditure. Under operating, we can just spend the money, it's under $10,000. I don't even know why you came up here today, because it has to be a snap vote.
They said they didn't have money. So, you know, we're just trying to go forward. And, you know, as a manager, if we turn this thing on, I need to have approval. So. All right, do we have the vote? So, did we all pass that yet? I got sidetracked. We didn't pass it, I don't think.
Well, the motion says it's out of capital, is that the motion?
That's what
I rewrote the motion to approve funding for skid steer parts from highway equipment not to exceed the amount of $7,000 from the capital improvement fund.
And if it turns out not to be capital and goes operating, then we do
Then we would have to rescind this.
okay.
But at least it's fun, we think it's funded to move
Why
forward.
don't we just put a motion to fix the machine, blah, 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 and then decide at a later time where
We don't need to vote on it, we're just doing that, so that's.
All right, we'll move on. All in favor of that motion? All right. We got a no online.
This was a motion made by Mike Pizzari, seconded by Tom Trout. We had discussion. What's the vote?
Raise your hand if you're in favor of it. Okay, everybody's in favor, except I think Joanne's.
Joanne, what's your response?
I can't hear what you're saying, but the answer to me is no, because it's operating, I don't need this to get on the agenda right now, and I don't know if it's capital, so whenever you finish, my answer is no.
Okay. All right, motion passes. We're gonna get the equipment fixed. Now then, here's the motion for the 2026 LLV budget. Can we have a motion to entertain the approval of that budget?
We agree.
So we.
I want to make a motion to defer.
Just defer. Well, so what happens is we can defer it, or we can just get it on the books that we tried, and then we table it. It's the same thing. So, you know, that way we're meeting the requirement to try to get it done today. And then it becomes something that's alive for us to work on after the fact. So I'm just.
So that's saying that the board votes on that, that we don't agree with you. I'd rather just push it back so we get all the things that we learned last night.
So what, so the good news?
I second the motion.
Okay, well, if you guys want to do it that way, if there's gonna be if we're tweaking it, we're not talking numbers, so I guess we can do it either way.
Well,
Yeah.
we can open for a motion, and if we don't get one, then it automatically
And stop.
kicks down the road. So is there a motion?
So we got a motion, no motion.
No
So
motion.
So basically it kicks to the right anyway.
I should make sure, Mike.
Frank made the motion to defer to let the lead.
So so it makes a lot of sense. So we'll go, pull my motion back and then as we're to get further knowledge.
It's
What we learned last night.
So the motion, we didn't have a motion for the agenda item as written.
So
And then we will
motion
make
fails, it's documented in the minutes.
And then let's make a new one that's not on the agenda that we motion to defer discussion until we can review all the data and move forward.
Yeah. Now the
Put that on,
now the motion's
that's
in
what
front of
we're
the
doing.
court.
All right, can I just clarify how I'm documenting this? 'Cause it's the first time I've
I
ever
never-
had this experience for me. So I had on the agenda a motion to approve the 2026 LLVPOA budget. I'm going to say no motion made.
That is correct.
Correct.
And then Frank moved to
Just
defer,
defer it to the next board. That could be a comment.
because we have to do something.
Motion to defer, I'll second that motion to make that live.
And we agree. Okay. Okay, it still works.
So there's a vote, there's a motion and a second, so then we have to vote
All
on
in
it.
favor of that?
Who was the second?
I was.
that's passed, it's done. I mean, we're tabling it essentially.
Yeah, but I have a comment.
Go ahead, it's members' comments now, so you can talk after that if you want.
Can I interrupt 1 second? 1 second. I have a hard stop. I have a wedding to get to. If I don't get to this wedding, my wife might shoot me, so I apologize. I gotta go back to Delaware County Media, so appreciate you guys. Sorry. Thanks, guys.
Thank you for your time.
Drive safe.
All right, members' comments.
Yeah, the comments about the dues, proposed dues, I know that the fee structure is going down to 3 compared to the confusing one before, right? But the comment is more about the additional lots. I know that there are supposedly 5 board members that have lots and others, but if you look at somebody that has 1 home and 1 lot in the proposed 26 budget, it's going up $700, correct?
I mean, I don't have the figure in
It
front of me.
it's roughly $700 for somebody that has an additional lot. So, one, I think you're gonna get people that are gonna sell their lots because they can't afford it. 2, they might not pay because they can't afford it. And then with part of the selling of the lots, you're gonna get additional homes built in here, green space is gonna, diminish. So that's just my comment on that. I think $700. Yeah, I think $700 increase for 1 member is a little steep.
I hear you.
So, I mean, does anybody have any comments on any of that?
I'm not- so I
About
don't
the
have a
green
lot.
space, about the people that can't afford it, that had it. I can see a couple dollars here or there, but, $700 increase in 1 year is steep.
That's the yearly,
Yeah, for somebody who has an additional lot, who has a house and a lot.
Oh,
So it used to be discounted, but the board voted on it, and it was, the full board of 9 voted, and the majority had it. So that's it.
Yeah, I will say,
And 5 members of the board raised their own dues.
Yeah, I understand that, but, my main point is the people that can't afford it, and, the green space that you're probably gonna lose, because these people are gonna just dump their lots, because they're not gonna pay additional $700, and then you're gonna get the investors in here building homes.
I mean, it was brought up amongst the board members as this option was discussed, that for the people this affects, it could be significant. They may sell, and then we may find ourselves with more investors coming in, picking up those lots. It's a risk to the situation.
I have a question. So of those 5 board members, how many of them rent homes? You don't rent the houses out?
No.
None of them?
I own 2 extra lots, so my dues are going up over $1,400. This was all brought up in the spirit of fairness. I've looked into different homeowners associations. A lot of homeowners associations, you pay this full price for an empty lot. We're giving an 80% discount for an empty lot.
Well, it's
I'm
been going
not
on
happy
for
with
55
it.
years.
Excuse me?
It goes up every year, so everyone else's dues don't go up, but
I'm just
you
trying
have lots.
to explain how it all came about, was to try to be fair, because somebody that owns an empty lot.
So 13% of the villagers have to pay that amount.
That's
not
fair, because it's not everybody, right? It's
not everybody.
So let me ask you something.
So that's not fair.
So this is what the board discussed, was it's also not fair for the members, the dues to be raised on the 900 folks that are just
Why,
housing.
it's $20, not $700.
You're trying to amortize the cost over to others that don't have it. So it's truly about fairness.
Like, I don't know if it's about fairness. I have a house and a lot. My second lot has my septic system. Okay? And I believe that was the main reason where they broke everything out in regards to, that's more than just 3 sections. And the reason being, it was extenuating circumstances. If a lot is not built, and if it has wetlands, like my lot, in regards, I have my house on one lot and septic system on the other. Am I gonna pay 80%, 100%? Because the thing is, I don't have water on it, I can't sell it. Okay. So the thing is, I think when it was originally put together, They took all this into consideration, plus in regards to Monroe County, how they assess it. Because the thing is now, what's looking now, I did buy another lot for privacy. It was wetlands. Somebody comes back in here now, they're saying, well, geez, they have another lot now. And if you want to join these stuff, you're going to pay a lot where it's wetlands, and it was counted by the county at 90% or 90% discount because it's a wetland, you can't build it. So I think, I understand what you're saying, that they did it, but the thing was, did they look at the whole situation? As the members here are saying, why are we paying? In other words, if you have it there and you can't sell a lot, okay, and you can't put water on it and everything else, you were being penalized. And I agree with you. I think something more, and that's why I think in regards to the budget stuff, take a look at that. I believe Joanne said, if we make these changes from whatever, 18 to 20 down to 3, we're going to increase our revenue by $138,000. That's well and good. But,
Mike Spanish, I want to say something. I don't think the resident is, but can you please email me at llbboard@lakevillage.org? And we have some talking papers that need to go out on this if you missed the budget meeting. And we also gave out some talking papers at the finance committee meeting while we were in draft format. Like I think everybody said, it's hard to hear. This is about equitably, and being fair when we get dues across the board. So the only person in the village, people in this village who weren't getting some discounts or possibly subsidizing other areas are the people who just own one lot or one home. After one lot, after one home you have a lot, you start getting discounts. And the more lots you have, the more discounts that you get. If you're in any township, municipality, or city, you're not discounted because you have 2 homes or stuff. And it didn't come into play for any business reason or any law or any math. Over a series of years since the 70s, it was based on feelings, much like what is happening with some of the fees that we assess. We're trying to go back to mathematical business decisions that are tied to rules, laws, and regulations. And we like to use as our first point of how we follow is the highest level of the law. So you go down and all the way to like your township level, which is where we're going with both the fees and the dues discount. And while this year it's painful, we are going to reevaluate the entire dues structure next year. So this is like a discount rollback for people who had multiple lots. You could have 5 lots and be paying it at a discount, and none of those lots are joined. They're going to be scattered throughout the village, and you can be a developer, and you're getting a significant lot discount while I'm a homeowner,
you're talking about
has to pay full price. So it's about equity and being fair to all. So it doesn't sound great for the people who the discount's not rolled back, but it is more in line with what the township, how we're the township.
well, if you can adjust it next year, why make the change now? If you can take a look at it.
We made the change. I mean, that was the rule of it.
So where's the notice? So if people didn't come, then they wouldn't know their dues are going up $700.
It's part of the budget, it's part of the budget package. So when that's formally approved, then it's.
Yeah, but wait, if you weren't at that budget meeting, we would never know. Come on, you know that, right?
No, I know.
Well, that's what this
I mean,
means.
you knew about it.
That $700 increase is just insane.
And
You
what,
know, that's a lot. When, people complaining that, if you get their dues are increased $20, $30 in a year, and you guys are gonna up somebody's dues $700 in 1 year? Yeah, it's only 12%. Yeah, it's only 5 people on the board or whatever, but you guys are the ones that made that decision. Not the other 11% had a say.
what about the joint lots? If your lots are joined?
That's still
That's
gonna
going
continue.
a third. It'll
That's
be a
still gonna
third.
continue. You can still join your lot, you get the same discount.
Right, a third. It'll be.
It's 0.26. 0.26 of the full dues price.
So the joint lots don't go up?
They will go up. They will go up because it won't be a discount because you have a joint lot. So they're going up also.
So.
Well, you won't have the discount, I'm sorry, you won't have the discount, but it is higher, right?
The joint lots will stay the same as they are now. It will not go up. Unless you're not.
You're right, excuse me, yeah. So it's just the other, it's the lots themselves. But again, it goes back to two, you're gonna have people that are just selling these lots, and you're gonna have the investors coming in here and building all over the place.
Yeah, just so you know, that, we
Does
did,
anybody want to buy a lot?
that's what's gonna, I mean, you said it at the, by the way, the budget meeting, it was brought up, and that is something that was a concern. But again, for fairness, we should all be paying the
Wait,
same.
please stop saying fairness, because
It was out of fairness.
It's not fair.
Because you're only getting 12% of the people that are having an increase, so please stop saying it's fair, because it's not. It's only the 12% people that are having this increase.
Okay.
Wouldn't it make sense that if you were going to do this kind of an operation, to first let the people know that that was gonna happen and then graduate it, rather than wake up on January 1st and say, you got paid double what you paid last year? Just a comment.
And the thing is, that, like on my property, I have a lot. The thing is, does it increase as far as people coming in and out, as far as waste and everything? And the answer is no. That's my septic system. So
You can't sell yours.
Well, I can't sell it. And that's the thing. I mean, that's why you had the breakdown of not just 1, 2, or 3. You took this into consideration.
I can't hear everything, but the person's asking if we were just gonna say this at Johnny Rivers. We've been talking about this since August. This has been presented at multiple meetings and at the budget meeting, and it's been up for discussion for a while. And all the decisions that get made for the financials for the following year get made now. So I'm confused on, with the process. Yes, we plan to socialize it, and we have been socializing it. I don't think in many people, this isn't their first time hearing it. This is the problem when we don't know how to communicate with the community. The only vehicle we have is the meetings, and we can post things on town square.
The first time it was heard was at the budget meeting. I was something the archery raging for an open house, and somebody came up and told me about it. So that's the first time I ever heard.
Yeah, it was the first time I heard.
So I don't know when else it was advertised, because I sure as heck, I don't know if anybody else heard it.
All right.
I'll just answer your question. It was brought up at the September meeting, and I don't own an extra lot, so it doesn't pertain to me, so I'm not, but I brought up the fact, as a real estate agent, that you will have multiple people that cannot afford a big increase in 1 year, and you will have them selling, and the whole thing that everybody always says is they don't want developers coming in here and buying up lots, and you are welcoming that, you are giving them that opportunity by allowing this to happen. Maybe bring it up a little bit. And all Joanne, I'm gonna just say this because I don't really wanna make another comment. The reason this is happening, they may say fairness, maybe it is fair, I don't know, I don't really have an opinion on it. Joanne backed herself into a corner for the last few years when she has said over and over again, if I am in charge of the budget, I will not raise the members' dues. So what she's done is she's collecting $138,000 from people like you, and she's trying to collect $250,000 from people like me. So that she ends up, and she now is like the winner, where she comes out looking like a queen, and she did exactly what she promised everybody she would do, except maybe 28% of the people.
So then so the dues will go up next year then, to everyone?
They're going up in January. Most
Well,
people,
I mean,
the fact of the
next year
matter
after
is-
this,
Well,
2027, everyone's dues are
I
going
don't
to go up
even
then.
know what the dues are yet.
Well,
She
they're gonna
said,
go up.
she said, based on the budget, if the budget goes the way it is, because she said, you said that last week, and she said the budget that we have is the budget we have. But she said, members' dues are not going up, which is, I hate to say it, I've said it, listen, anything else, since she's not here, she hears me on the phone, I told her this in person, I told her this on the phone, like, I've told her it multiple times. I know that she backed herself into a corner, she cannot raise dues, but she has promised people for the last 3 years, while she's been petitioning to be in charge of the budget, that she wouldn't raise people's dues.
Well,
So now
it's
she's
not-
raising.
She's not raising dues, she's not raising dues.
She's
The
raising
board
dues
has
to 28% of the people. She's raising dues to the 14% that own extra lots, that are now getting hit with those big fees, and she's raising dues to the SDR people, by the way that you guys are trying to.
Well, that's still under advisement, that part will work.
If she didn't do that though, dues would go up.
If she didn't, then they're gonna go up for everybody, and
And that would
she
make her look
won't,
bad.
and it won't make her look good. I mean, I'm not trying to, again, I said it to
I'm not
her
saying
directly multiple times. I don't have a problem with doing it. I don't think the way that she's doing this is smart. I don't think some of the things that she's doing, she thinks through all the way. She called me after the September meeting when I said exactly that. She said, you know, can I call you and talk to you about, what do you think, as a real estate agent? And I said, sure, no problem, which is how I got involved in this in the first place, because then she invited me to a finance meeting. I wish I didn't know all of this, because it's a disaster.
Well, the budget's been tabled, we're still looking at, we know that there's angst about the
Several items.
Well, can that be
Several
reviewed
items.
again? Can you
It's already
guys
passed.
review that
It
again
passed
and
last
take a look
month.
at it?
Well,
Wait.
It passed, you guys voted on it last month, I thought. Didn't you vote on it last
Vote
month?
on last month, how can
They voted
No,
on
we have,
piece.
Okay.
so, we did not, so I think the answer is, guess what, I know an answer. Answer, we can change, it's not done yet, we can
Can you
change.
revisit it, please?
But that's
We're
what I
asking.
think.
I think we certainly entertain that. I think what you're trying to say, it has not been ratified at a board meeting, correct? So it's not concrete.
So will you do that?
As
So the answer is yes.
Yes.
So, 'cause you said, hi, Dee.
Good morning. Deacon Sarda here. Do you realize when you sell a lot, and I have a lot of elderly people who have been in Locust Lakes for years, paying dues, unable to use, they did not build a home, so they're not paying dues, they're not using our mail, they're not using none of the facilities. They're not using the beaches, they're not using the trash, and now you want to penalize them, and they're already struggling just to pay the dues. And I've had their lots for sale, and they're cheap. And now you're going to force even more people to sell. I would rather see a $30 a year raise. I mentioned at the budget meeting, I'd rather see a $50 a year raise. That's less for everyone, because that's less than $1 a week. And when you want to look at it like that, that's cheap. When you sell a lot now, when you go to the settlement company, those people have to pay a capital fund fee. And what you do is you're paying what you're paying on from the year before's dues. So now, those people, when they go, you've got a young couple whose dream is to build a house in Locust Lakes, if you're lucky, if they're not an investor. And now they're going to have to pay, next year, double the dues. Greenwood Acres was charging $600 for a resale certificate, and they got rid of the management company that was handling all that, and now they charge $200. So you're impacting more than just the dues. I think it's terribly unfair, and I think that you're going to create another development where there's no trees, because all the developers are going to come in. I have a developer now who 5 lots he's got under contract. Oh boy, now people are going to sell out really cheap to him, and now you're going to have him developing 10 lots. And let me tell you, he has a New York accent, and you know how they are about trees. They're afraid of the dark. Hey, you want to arm wrestle?
As a realtor for 50 years, I'm Bob Cimarosa. I'd just like to say, when you raise the dues on the lots that much, you bring the value of those lots down, and you bring the value of the whole community down with it. It's stupid.
Okay, I guess at the risk of changing subjects, Bob Geddes, 146 Turkey Court, property owner for 27 years now and prior member of the board. In the beginning, Wade, you mentioned about the property manager and the challenge for hiring a new one, and you mentioned you're going to be talking to HR companies. which I think is a good idea, but I just want to mention from my own experience that first I think we should at least entertain some of our in-house talent, give that consideration. We have several managers here who have tenure, who may have interest in the position, and I think as a courtesy and part of their growth, they should be considered as a possible candidate for that position. And if they express interest and they need some training, that as a village and as a board, we should support some of that training for a future hire, perhaps in that position. Also, I just want to mention, just this week, I spoke to somebody in the neighboring community who had quite a bit of turmoil in the last couple of years, but they have enlisted the services of a company called First Service Residential. They're a company up here in the Poconos. They placed the person, and what I thought was attractive about that business model is that we would pay the company, not the individual, so the benefits and all that is handled through that contract. And if the person doesn't work out, there's a 30-day exit clause. So we can decide that person's not working, and that's it. They walk back or walk away, and that company may be able to provide somebody else as another candidate. So I just wanted to make those two suggestions because I know it's a challenge.
First Service Residential?
First Service Residential, and as I said, a local community, a neighboring community has used that, and I heard from just one person who was at a senior level. They're quite pleased with the person that was placed. And that's all I had to say. Thank you.
Thanks, sir.
What community, Bob? Pardon me?
Is there an onboarding for them, or?
What community?
What community?
Well, it's Arrowhead. They went through a lot of turmoil, but they have a person now that has been working out. That's what I understand.
Okay,
Thank you.
okay. Lou?
Hi, Trustee Yakarino, 214 Fawn Road. I have a question, it's actually unrelated to anything we've been talking about, but is there a rule or regulation regarding board member decorum?
Yes,
Can you provide that to us?
absolutely.
Thank you.
It's actually being reviewed and intensified.
Thank you.
Alan Coops, 232 Parsons Drive. I want to know why the board's letting Joanne use my wife, threaten my wife. Why are you allowing bullying? Now she's telling everybody, she's telling Sherry that she has an audio tape of her, and she doesn't quit the board, she's going to let everybody know. And that's something she did to someone else too. And you all know she's bullying. You all know it. And you're letting it go. It's going to be a lawsuit. I'm tired of it. She has a strenuous staff. She's a senior director at Children's Hospital. 450 people she has to watch over. And she has to listen to stress. She's calling her during the day, and she doesn't call her back. She freaks out. You think it's appropriate after a board meeting? We're driving home, 2.5-hour drive home. How many times do you think she text Sherry? Because she wouldn't answer the phone. Because I said, Sherry, do not answer the phone. 118 times in 2.5 hours she texted because Sherry wouldn't answer the phone.
That's insane.
And we have a lot more texts that she threatened my wife. And now someone turns us in. I'll go back months ago. I applied for a permit for a deck. I got a permit, building permit. Didn't know I needed a zoning permit. It has nothing on about zoning. Right? You checked it out for me, right?
I actually investigated it. You did miss a permit, but I saw how it can happen.
Right.
So there was true you missed it, but it was.
wasn't.
I missed it because I went to play the same game about the deck, and I found it.
So I went and I got the permit for Locust Lake. Thought I was legit. Someone turned me in, and then Joanne. I don't know who turned me in, but Joanne wanted my wife thrown off the board because we missed the zoning. Okay. So now. Joanne, hope you're listening. So back in 2017, Joanne got a permit for a garage. two-story garage, okay? It was supposed to be for storage only, no occupancy. What did they do? They made it up, put a bar up there, a bathroom up there, and she got caught. Someone turned her into the cost, everybody got pissed off her. So I wanna know, Randy, how much is the fine for that? What, $10,000 fine?
This is actually turning into, it's more, there is a concern in the valley.
But why isn't she being thrown off the board? Because they were all saying, Sherry, you broke, you didn't get the zoning, you need to be thrown off. Why isn't she being thrown off?
Well, I don't have an answer for it. Because it's.
You know why? Because everybody's afraid of her. Everybody's afraid of her. And I had it, I'm tired. And I'm telling you, if she keeps abusing, we have text messages. She continues, she's gonna get a lawsuit.
Well, we gotta stop this.
I have just one suggestion for the manager position. Is there a way that you can put something in place so that maybe they get a bonus after 2 years? If we could have the manager stay for more than a year and a half, it would be amazing for continuity. I mean, amazing. But I'm just gonna say I know you said it's personal, but clearly there's something going on. There have been 5 board members that have resigned since June. There has been a manager, whatever reason he left, I know that some people wanted him gone. You guys are just sitting back and, like, again, it's not personal with Joanne, whether or not we're like best friends or whatever, I don't have any problems with her, but she clearly is pushing a certain agenda, and you guys are all sitting here watching it and allowing it to happen and opening yourselves up in such a way. I do not understand it. I promised I wasn't going to talk again, so I apologize.
I want to bring up just a comment on what developers can do here in Lotus Lake Village. A number of meetings ago, I brought up the the 2 abominations that went up over there at Cardinal and Farmers. And I understand the guy's name is Igor something or other. Well, they are ugly, we know that. Somehow or other, they were permitted, apparently even after looking at the architect's rendering. Okay, now, I have to look at some comps. And do you know what he is selling that place for, or trying to sell? $699,000. That is, in a way, he's extorted this village. That's it.
I think it's 800,000.
No, it's less than the difference, 600.
So, yeah, obviously something happened, right? So, that manager's gone. So.
One more.
Oh, here.
Hi, everybody. Joey Molino, 1619 Locust Lane. I've addressed the board already about trying to purchase property, adjoining property to my lot right down the hill. I was emailing back and forth with Wade. I asked if I could address the board again. His comment was something about new business. Look, I don't understand how you call this new business. This has been going on for a year. I would like to purchase from Locust Lake Village. They own the property. It's a lot. I think it's probably perkable, I'm not sure. But it does seem dry. My reason for buying it is 2 things. I want to stop a house from going up next to me. I want to join it to my lot. And I would like to put up a garage, close to my house, but I need to own that property. I'm not asking for any preferential treatment. I was told that if I bring this up again, it would be considered new business. Honestly, I'm only wondering why I'm even wanting to buy another lot. I'm just hearing now about this $700 increase for owning additional lots. But regardless of that, I understand this needs to be a process. I'm not asking for favorable treatment. I have a realtor, lives in the village. She has helped me sell my house across the street, my lake house. And I was told that we had to list it. No problem with that. I had to pay the commission, and no problem with that. It's going to be money to the village. in the area of $25,000 to $30,000 is what she estimates the comps at. I understand the former manager submitted comps, so that's what I heard. So you guys may have your own comps as well. It's money to the village. It's gonna be dues to the village. I'm a member in good standing. I volunteer a lot, and I don't wanna continue to do that, and I don't understand why, how much feet dragging is going on. When I presented it the first time, there were different board members. I was told 60 days between, and again, I was mainly conversing with Bob Christensen at the time and Sherry Kubis. And I thought it should have been 30, okay, 60. This is going on about a year now. With all the problems of getting dues, getting money, why is there so much resistance? I understand I heard it's green space and it's got to be transferred back to not green space.
Can I explain that part?
Please,
So,
do, yes.
I was saying, I've known of this, so I said to you in an email, go ahead and bring it up, because then we can put it on an agenda as an item, and we can address it, we can address it at the next meeting. But the thing is, the green space was an unknown, we had to look into it was gonna cost more money to get it reviewed, because it opens, if it's in green space, and depends on the number of years, when you pull it out, and tell me if I'm wrong, Tom, but if you pull it out, then you're subject, we could be subject, yes, Sharon?
Back taxes.
While I was interim chair for the 3 weeks. It was investigated and reviewed. The lot that he is interested in, it has been declared green space. That was done, I think, back in 2004 or 2013. It was a number of years ago that the board at the time moved it into that. We did get legal insight and input into could that be reversed in some way. The input from the legal counsel at the time was it would require a full membership agreement to then re-revert it back to non-green space. That was then handed off. Joanne wanted to do some additional investigation and clarify some of that space. So that's where the investigation last left off. From what my understanding was, is that the manager at the time was supposed to provide what we knew, but that there was one of the board members had agreed to do additional input and booking corrections.
Okay, so it's along the same lines, it's the green space was the hiccup. I wanted to get more visibility of your situation. It sounds to me, honestly, that we owed you something and it didn't happen.
This is the first I'm hearing of.
Yeah, no, I told you this, I'm pretty much an open book. Some people in this audience know that I've worked with them on other matters. I'd like to get it resolved. I don't like seeing people get stalled.
Well, to me, it's a no-brainer. And I understand there's a process. I'm not asking for
the taxes. No, it's not in that part that maybe you don't. If you go back 20 years and the state wants the taxes on it every year.
I understand.
About 20 years of taxes.
That's about $10,000 more or less.
It could be, but we don't know. So the thing is, you want us to go into the next steps, and we're not quite ready. But we have started some of the efforts, and I didn't want to shoot you an email and say, don't. I want to talk about it. You're my neighbor. You're my member that I represent. So I'm trying to get you the answers, and I don't care who gets to hear it. I don't keep the secrets. So.
Okay, well, I'm trying to be public also, and again,
There you
like I
go.
say, I'm not asking for anything preferential. I understand it needs to be listed. I understand there's a tax implication.
Yes.
It's still going to be money to the village, from my perspective.
Well, it does, because if we sell it to you, we should get the full rate.
Absolutely, and I'm willing to pay that. And it's going to be dues you'll be able to collect going forward. And now a lot more dues than I thought it was going to be, but
yeah,
so be it.
So thank you. I'm glad you.
Thank you.
Did it. All right, that's it. I think. I hope. So, I guess with that, can I get a motion to adjourn? Oh, wait. Members' comments.
Members not.
No, members done.
Direct discussion.
I am not wrong. I'm tired.
No comment.
No comment? No comment? Mike, comments?
Okay, then.
Thanks, guys.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn. How about that? Second.
Okay, I motion